and eliminate their neighbours, their close neighbours and rivals after that match on Wednesday just 4 days ago. Neither of these teams have ever qualified for a World Cup finals, and there's a long, long road to Qatar. Remember, the winner of this two-legged tie goes into the group stage against the heavyweights of African football. And even after that, there's a playoff to decide the 5 places. 5 African places available. 54 countries have entered the competition from the African continent. This reverting to the 2014 format. You're watching pictures from Freetown in Sierra Leone on the west coast of Africa, and we're going to have 90 fascinating and crucial minutes ahead of us at the Siaka Stevens Stadium. Which one of these two teams will go up against the big guns of Africa in round 2? We'll find out this evening. We're just getting ready for the pre-match national anthems, handshakes and photographs. The nervy time for the players. Experience certainly on the side of Sierra Leone. This is the Liberia team who've, as I say, made the short journey over the border to Sierra Leone for the second leg of this first round match. Was associated with George Weah, of course. He was there for the first match, now the president of the country, as well as that nation's greatest ever player. So being entertained by the military band in Sierra Leone. It's a packed stadium, as you can see, a really good atmosphere in Freetown. That was All Hail Liberia, the Liberian national anthem, but now let's get ready for the home national anthem. High we exalt thee. Well, you can see the emotion and what it means to Sierra Leone. They think they can overturn this 3-1 deficit after the first leg. Salas Tete in charge now for Sierra Leone. Plenty of smiles now, but I can assure you there'll be no love lost on the pitch, because it was a bruising encounter, a 3-1 win for Liberia in the first game. These are a team. Solomon Morris in goal. And look out for Sierra Leone's strike force. K Camera, Musa Camara and Ibrahim Conte will come in to the middle of the park. That's a change from that first match. So look out for the two Camaras up front. George Davis is always also coming in. He'll wear the number 11 shirt today. So that's the hosts, Liberia, 3-1 winners, although they needed 2 late goals. These are our match officials today. They're from Burkina Faso. Jean Ouattara will be in charge, and it might not be an easy game, one has to say. There's been some controversy over the last few days when the Liberian players say that they were attacked during training, had stones thrown at them by Sierra Leone fans, and they have appealed for help from FIFA and more protection. So it hasn't been the easiest of run-ups to this game, and these players have got an intimidating atmosphere to deal with. There are a couple of penalties that Sierra Leone thought were very harsh, let's put it that way. So Jean Ouattara in your picture there will have a tricky match, I think. Sam Johnson, of course, will captain Sierra Leone as he did, Liberia, excuse me, as he did 4 days ago. Most experienced player in blue today. And he'll need to drill his men, calm them. They have a 3-1 lead. But the early period will be very important in this game. Well, this is a team from Liberia. Oscar Dawley keeps his place on the left-hand side of midfield. Look out for Sherman and Sam Johnson up front. They'll look for goals. And I think if they can get one today, that would put huge pressure, wouldn't it, on the hosts. The scorers in the first leg, Tisdale and Johnson, and Sangara came off the bench to score, and the Newcastle youth player is on the bench again, Sangara. I wonder if we'll see him over the 90 minutes. So players have come from far and wide in the world. It really reflects modern football. Players from Malaysia, the Czech Republic, Iceland, Denmark, Cyprus, all represented here. Our two coaches, Salas Tete from Sierra Leone in your picture. His opposite number is Peter Butler, a much-travelled English coach. Best known for West Ham fans, they'll know him as a player from their Upton Park days. See the giant figure there of Kay Kamara. He's going to be a really important player for them. Most experienced player, MLS legend, 100 goals in North American football. And there's the coach I was talking about from Liberia, Peter Butler. And we are underway. It's Sierra Leone in the white shirts, kicking from left to right. As you can see, the pitch not the best, but they had to deal with that in the first leg as well. It wasn't a great pitch at the Samuel Candondo Stadium in Painesville. As you can see, there's a lot of grass. It's been left quite long. It's going to be tricky for the players in the capital of Sierra Leone. First touch for Kouyaté, the number 12. Long ball up to Sherman. He's the danger man. It's just going to stay in. The fact that the grass has been left quite long will help. It might have bobbled out on a lot of pitches. It stayed in. Liberia hit the post within 20 seconds of that first match. Not going to do it again this time. It was an amazing start. Sherman hit the post within 20 seconds. Liberia went 1-0 up with a soft penalty in the first half. Tisdale, after a push from Koroma on Sherman. Kwame Key made it 1 apiece in the second half, and then 2 late goals. There was another controversial penalty from Sangara, and then a terrible mix-up between Morris and Dumbuya, allowing Johnson to score. That was the story of the first game, won by Liberia. Remember, it's a 2-legged game, 2-legged tie. Away goals will count after 90 minutes, so a 2-0 for Sierra Leone would see them through, but long way to go before that. We're in the opening minutes. Packed stadium, 45,000 at the Siaka Stevens Stadium in Freetown. Really looking forward to this one. I think it'll be a feisty game. It'll be very competitive. These are close neighbours, very tight links over the years between these two countries. It's about a 600-kilometre journey north from capital to capital. And a bright start by the Liberians, and early on Tisdall it was, as you can see, cutting in, does prefer the left foot, and well, just outside, but no foul given. Bright start by the visitors, not looking nervous at all. There's Tisdall again. The pass that time was a little bit overcooked. Liberian goalkeeper Williams, teenager, what a big game it is for him. Likes to play with his feet. The Liberian press call him a bit of a keeper, sweeper keeper, Manuel Neuer type. He's not afraid to come out at all from his goal. So, a first chance for the hosts. Mustafa Dumbuya. There's two Dumbuyas in the squad. The header on, but that shouldn't cause any damage, and it won't. The crowd have been building up here for at least an hour, creating a really good atmosphere in the national stadium. Over the years, Liberia have a good record in the head-to-heads. They've won 9 and lost 3, 5 draws over the years. These two have been playing each other since 1966, a 1-1 draw. But not many goals. The most common results are 1-0 and 1-1. Sierra Leone have not beaten their neighbours since 2005. Only 3 games, in fact, over that period since 1966 have had 3 goals or more. So don't expect too many. That won't be a surprise. And of course, Liberia will be delighted if there's none this evening. They lead 3-1 after that first leg. Got to say, the pitch is not in a great state. The grass has been left very long. Not too much to do so far for Morris, the home goalkeeper. So 5 minutes played so far, plenty of effort, but no chances on goal. As I was saying, Liberia have had the better of matches over the years, but I don't think that will count too much today. Sierra Leone had 1 year out of international football. FIFA saying that there was too much government involvement in the national setup, so there was 1 year of international isolation for Sierra Leone, and the country have used it to change the way football is organised. A lot of new faces in the international setup, the likes of Musa Kamara and Bundu making their debuts. Money's been put into the domestic league as well by the government, around $350,000. It's a country that loves its football. So 1 year out of the international frame. Didn't go down well. Qualifying 4 years ago, they went out in the first round to Chad on away goals. Winning 2-1 at home, but losing 1-0 away. Liberia, they got through to the second round 4 years ago. They beat Guinea-Bissau 4-2 on aggregate before losing to the Ivory Coast 4-0 on aggregate. Both of these teams would love to get through to the second round, because this time it's a group format in the second stage. That means 6 guaranteed games going up against the big boys of African football. and also, crucially, financial help from CAF. So important to get more games. The nations at this level do lack top-level experience playing regularly. Certainly far less than their rivals from Europe and South America. So Liberia have started very brightly. Looks like they're coming here to score a goal. Tisdall, number 21 in the picture there, has been very busy. It's playing in blue. They're not playing in their striped shirts this afternoon. Very physical so far, isn't it? As that Sherman looks to bustle his way through and he gets the free kick. That's Kapash Sherman. Player that won an early penalty in the first leg. Sierra Leone were not happy about that decision. And Liberia have pushed 4 into the box. Just drilled in, and what was that? An error there, no offside, and there was a real chance for Johnson. Danger not over, and now, well, there's an infringement of some sort in there, but suddenly the ball came to Sam Johnson. I think he was a little bit surprised that it was such a good chance, and there's Hellberg, the Swedish-born player, who's been called into the setup, and there was no offside there, and it turned into a good save by Morris. Completely miscued by Kai Kamara, and you won't want to see that again. He's much better up the other end of the pitch as Kamara. And a bit of a let-off there for the hosts. Can they use it? Kai Kamara chases after that, and yeah, always worth chasing it, isn't it? Wins the throw, and he probably shouldn't have. Coronel putting the ball out. Mustafa Dumbuya. He's going to go long finally. He thought about it. So that should be collected. Indeed it is, by the young Ashley Williams. Just 18 years old. Plays for local club LISCR. Ten minutes have gone pretty quickly, haven't they? No goals. So Liberia are not here to defend, that's for sure. The ball goes from one keeper to the other. So Salomon Morris plays his football in Dieppe in the French National 3 League. That's the 5th division in France. As I was saying, players have come from far and wide to play in this big match. So nice ball out this near side for Kate. Kate, what's he got on the left foot? Decides to play a little one through the centre, cut out by the visiting defence. Can Camera keep it in? No, he can't. Camera. He was in the news recently because he cancelled a contract with the Swedish club Trelleborgs. Rather curious story. He signed a 3.5 deal with the Swedish club and cancelled it after 1 week because he said it was too cold in Sweden, which you can be forgiven for that, but it was in August. Top scorer in the Sierra Leone Premier Division was Camara. See if he can get one today. Bright start though from Liberia. Here's Sherman. Sherman wins the corner. Big bustling player, hard to get off the ball, isn't he, Sherman? Once he turns, has the goal in his sight. Bangura did well just to block that shot. Sierra Leone could absolutely not afford at all to concede here. That would put massive pressure on them. They need 3 just to push it to extra time. Liberia won a goal, no doubt about that. Started really well. Bangura with the header. Liberia to work it down this left-hand side. Dawley with the cross, there's a real chance! Offside! Dawley knocked it in nicely from this near side. But there was an offside against one, maybe two players, but danger there for Sierra Leone. Really do have to be careful. They didn't pick up the Liberian attackers there, and that was very tight, wasn't it? So it looks like Kai Kamara is okay. Saying a legend of North American football. 100 goals. So spent a year in England with Middlesbrough. I think Liberia will be really happy with this first 13 minutes. They haven't looked overawed at all. And Sierra Leone haven't created too much. Very early days. Crowd urging their men on. They're not too patient. They want some action. See the ball up the other end of the pitch. Liberia have handled things very well so far. And G, busy figure in the middle of the pitch, and well, got a clattering there. Foul from Musa Kamara. Expect a physical encounter today. So it was that day 4 days ago. McConnell hits it long. With again, I think there's quite a lot of long balls from the Liberians. That is their style. They do look for Sherman and Sam Johnson. Quite direct stuff. Sierra Leone will look to play it through the middle of the park a little bit more. Cross in. The keeper comes out, doesn't get to it. That's a brilliant clearance off the line from McConnell. He had to be in the right place at the right time, and Alvin McConnell did really well there. The crowd thought the first goal was coming. It was spectacular, wasn't it? They're on their feet. What a wonderful atmosphere. Before the game in Liberia, the Liberian MC was complaining that the Sierra Leone fans were making all the noise, and they do have a wonderful group of fans. And for a split second there, they thought a goal was coming. But good work from McConnell. The youngster Williams came out, and it never looked like he was going to get there. McConnell gets a boot that was a little bit too high. Says our referee Jean Ouattara. See, there he came. He never looked that close to getting it. It was a good overhead. But McConnell was there. Best chance so far for Sierra Leone. That's a good challenge there, wasn't it? Kai Kamara. Ushered out. The pitches are already cutting up quite badly. It's going to be very tricky for the players. Liberia, coached by Peter Butler. Played at Cambridge Southend, best known for his stint at West Ham. Coached Botswana. Actually applied for the Sierra Leone job before getting the Liberia one. So presumably knows a bit about the Sierra Leone setup. There's Peter Butler, born in Halifax in the north of England. Good period this for Sierra Leone. Seem to have found their feet, found their range. They weren't too far a few minutes ago, were they? That's a tug on the shirt. So George Davis over that far side. The noise level has just gone up a notch, hasn't it? The players will appreciate that, just punched out that time by Williams. Maybe could have caught it, but it was a good punch. Danger not over, finally hacked out by McConnell, who's had a good start. By Kamara, and this time there was an offside against Sierra Leone. Three Kamaras on the pitch for Sierra Leone. Number 6, John. Number 19, Musa. And number 10, Kai. On clearance by Williams. Stadium is packed, 45,000, about 25, 26 degrees. Humid in West Africa, but the pitch is cutting up and the grass has been left very long, which doesn't make passing easy. It's bobbling around a bit as well, isn't it? As you can see. Well, that's not a very clever pass out. When the grass is that long, it was Dennis Jr. Wasn't happy with a challenge there by Kay. Kay there. And, both players thought the throw was theirs. Okay, the scorer for Sierra Leone in the first match. Plays his football in Víkingur Reykjavik in Iceland. So he's going to have to get used to the cold. Sese hits it long and high, looking for his big forwards. Finds Kamara, but there's a foul there again. So after an initial burst, it's calmed down a bit this match, with a pattern of Sierra Leone playing some direct balls, looking to trouble the young goalkeeper as well, Williams, 18 years old. What a big day it is for him. Nice play by Kamara, a classy player he is. Just at better conditions, better pitches in North America, I would say. Long range shot from Kamara, but dealt with by Williams, and that one he's going to clutch onto. Waste a few seconds, more than a few seconds. I wonder if Jean Ouattara might have a word. It's a little bit early to be wasting time. Long range shot. It's fairly direct, looking for the ball, second ball, and this man Kay is a real danger man. It's quick, dangerous. If they can get him down the flanks, get some crosses in, they must have a chance, Sierra Leone, but that's nicely dealt with by the visitors from Liberia. Bangura goes left, goes right, doesn't seem quite sure what to do. Eventually does well, the captain. Sherman won a penalty early in the first leg. Plays his football in Malaysia. I'm saying players from these two nations spread far and wide. So halfway through this first half, we're still at 0-0. That's good news for Liberia, who won the first leg 3-1. Patient stuff from Sierra Leone. Mustafa Dumbuya. Not too many options. John Kamara, the number 6, has seen plenty of the ball without playing too many killer passes so far. There's another offside. Don't like that, neither the players or the fans. No doubt at all. Officials from Burkina Faso today. Liberia didn't have a great summer in terms of their matches. They're losing the Chan qualifiers to Senegal, 4-0, 3-1, excuse me, on aggregate. Chan, that's a competition for domestic players only. It's a good measure of how good the domestic leagues are. Just missed out on qualifying for the African Cup of Nations, did Liberia. 1-2 and drew 1 in their group, dominated by Zimbabwe. They needed a draw in their last game at DR Congo and lost 1-0. That's why they weren't in Egypt. They have defending to do here. And good defending it was. It was Joel Johnson getting in where it mattered. Don't know if he got the last touch or not, but it was an important intervention by Joel Johnson. More frustration for the hosts. A decent cross from Kate. And the ball floating over the bar. The home crowd are urging Ashley Williams to get on with it. He's taking his time. It's a long hack forward, but not for the first time. It goes from one goalkeeper to another. Kamara scrapping for that, this time losing out. And the early goal that Sierra Leone so wanted, it's not going to be coming, or maybe comes the other way. There's a half chance for Sherman, still Sherman. And again, the back heel on this turf is not easy at all. Might have worked on a better pitch, but here, got to be played quite simply. The back heel in a really useful situation didn't come off, and there's yellow card, I think it's for G. A wry smile there for Liberia, number 6. Have another look at that. Yeah, it was a heavy challenge, wasn't it? So NG picking up the yellow card. Again, a long ball in the box, testing the young keeper. So looking fine, I'm not quite sure what that was for. Just going to his knees, wasting a few seconds. That's only going to frustrate the home players and rile up the home crowd. And again, long clearance straight into the arms of the home keeper Morris. I think Peter Butler will want a slightly better quality of clearance from his goalkeeper, because that's just putting his own players under a lot of pressure. So for the last 5 and 10 minutes, Liberia have just said, okay, we're going to shut up shop, and you'll have to get through us. A little bit early to be so defensive, perhaps. Let's see. Joel Johnson, the right back, hits it long. One back via John Kamara. It's very scrappy in the middle. There is Kamara. Plays his football in Azerbaijan. It's going to be a corner. It was well won, wasn't it, by Tisdall? Home fans didn't like it. Danger for Sierra Leone. So Sherman, Sam Johnson, looking to pounce on something. Two in your picture now. And already the crowd are causing a little bit of trouble there. I think they might have been throwing one or two objects from that corner. There's a few objects being thrown from that far corner, and I was saying before the game there was some controversy when the Liberian setup accused Sierra Leone fans of throwing stones at them during a training session. That's why there's a hold-up in the game. There's a bit of a disturbance in that far corner. Let's hope that that calms down. Well, let's hope we can get on with the football quite soon. Half an hour played. The military's gone to that far side. Not easy conditions for Tisdall. Going to drive it in with his left boot. So Tisdall puts it in. Dealt with by the home defence, and the long shot. Well, he never looked too convinced with that, did he? G just picked up a yellow card a few minutes ago. So half an hour played. We've had a bit of a stoppage because of some crowd disturbances. What would calm down the crowd would be a goal. It's a poor pass that time. Dawley. Sierra Leone going down that left-hand side again. Again, they have the free kick. George Davis, it was one of the changes after that first leg, looking to add a bit of penetration down the left-hand side. Here comes the free kick. Davis, there's some danger, but it's held by Williams. This time, I think quite intelligently clears it more quickly, because there is a chance for Liberia on the break. Tisdall knocks it into Sam Johnson. Johnson tries his luck. Is he going to bubble in? No. Well, the hearts were in the mouths for a second there, but Morris scrambled back. Sam Johnson, just for a second I thought that was going to go in. Turned quite nicely, did Johnson. Just poked it towards the goal, but the keeper had just enough on it. So the best chance so far for Liberia, no doubt about that. Okay, he's going to be a vital player skillful, attacking, quick. Can they get him in the game? The pass wasn't bad, but it was Kamara who lost the ball. Tisdale getting into the game a little bit more. Tisdale now. Dawley can't quite keep that under control. Oscar Dawley plays his football in the Czech Republic. Slovan Liberec. 21-year-old. Look out for him, the 19-year-old, down this near side. Little over half an hour played. So far so good for Liberia, who lead 3-1 after the first leg. Dennis tries to clear long. Sierra Leona scrapping for everything now. Kate. Mustafa Dumbuya. Can he somehow find a cross? Dumbuya, nobody's got the throw. There's a player down. And the Liberian medical staff will be called on. It's Kouyaté down, and he looks in a bit of trouble. Some concerned faces there among the Liberian technical and medical staff. So for the moment, Liberia down to 10. And they have a throw in to defend. Still down to 10. They won't want to concede there. They very nearly did. It's a flying header from Kamara. Kai Kamara, I think, got the last touch. So powerful in the air, the big man. And he just threw himself at that. 1 meter 91 of him. And certainly McConnell felt it, didn't he? What a fine target man he is. He has been over the years, 35-year-old. I think if anyone can drive Sierra Leone over the line into the second round, it's going to be him. Kai Kamara has come close a couple of times. As again, Ashley Williams takes his time. He's within his rights to do that, but he shouldn't be too slow because the fans are beginning to get frustrated and complain in their own distinctive way. Certainly has a big clearance on him, doesn't he, Williams? Looking for Sam Johnson. Didn't quite get there. So Davis didn't play the first match. Been a busy figure down that left-hand side. Sierra Leone have 10 minutes left in the first half to find a goal. They won't want to go in 0-0. Really would put pressure on them, but remember, away goals will count, so a 2-0 victory for the hosts would put them through. A lot of football between now and then, though. Hassan Sessay with the throw. Would he go for a long one, I wonder? Certainly a big run-up, so we can expect some fireworks here. Sessay's throw. So headed out by McConnell. Sessay has another go. Wants the free kick. And gets it. You can see what Sam Johnson thinks of that. There was quite a high left arm there. But Liberia will think that's harsh, but nevertheless, a real chance for Sierra Leone. The fans urging their men on. They're making a huge racket here. The 12th man certainly present in Freetown. The young goalkeeper making sure that his wall is in place. What an experience for an 18-year-old. Look out for that name, Ashley Williams. So Mustafa Dumbuya with the free kick. John Kamara is the number 6, just in front of the goal. Just over. And the last touch there was from Bangura, the captain. Close, but not close enough. Still frustration for Sierra Leone. Jean Ouattara ordering the player to take it in the right place. Karoma. Ishmael Karoma hits it short. The captain, Bangura, hits it long, very long. Bit of hesitation there from Tisdall. Finally he clears. And again, the host not quite finding enough accuracy in the pass. Peter Butt will be fairly happy with how his defence has handled things so far. And his young goalkeeper, 18 years old, has dealt with the pressure pretty well for me. Johnson looks to head on. Can't quite get there. Sherman frustrated. No flick on for him. Sierra Leone come up the other end. Dawley trying to fight his way through. It's direct. It's going to be physical. Tricky conditions out there. Okay, the number 7. Oh, the ball to Dumbuya was short. Liberia looked to get something on the counter-attack. Tisdall, he's quick, he's skillful. Can't quite keep the ball in there. Tonya Tisdall plays in the Nea Salamis in Cyprus, where it's hot, but not as wet as it's been the last few days in Freetown. As you can see, quite a muddy pitch. Ball hacked up to Kai Kamara. Five minutes to play, still 0-0. A nervy atmosphere around the National Stadium. This is known as the Manu River Union Derby. Two rivals know each other very well. Very close economically, culturally, politically, but on the pitch, a real rivalry. Just for a second, Ashley Williams lost his footing, but he's okay. And Dawley did really well. Nice bit of skill there from the Liberia number 19. Sam Johnson will chase after that. Looking to win something. But, the captain, Bangura, a bit too smart for him. Sierra Leone look for something on the break. Okay, out to Dumbuya, looking for the talisman. Kai Kamara just threw himself at that again. O'Connell thought there was a foul, but Kamara has won the corner. We'll judge that one for yourself. You can be sure of one thing with Kai Kamara, he will give absolutely everything for the 90 minutes. Using his physical presence, and that's what he did there, legally, to win a corner. That's part of football. Sometimes it's not pretty. But winning that corner might be very important. Ball is swung in, Liberia deal with it again. The keeper's come out, has to be careful here. Some distance on it. Young Ashley Williams looks very unflustered, doesn't he? It'll be fascinating. Fascinated to hear what he thinks of his 90 minutes. Or 120 if it goes that long. Kuroma Bangura is the man who's making most of the passes out. Liberia sitting back most of the time, not putting too much pressure on the back four. Dawley chased after that. Three minutes to defend for Liberia. I think they'll be delighted with 0-0 at half-time. Sierra Leone gradually turning the screw, putting up a little bit more pressure. Sierra Leone ranked 114 in the world. Liberia 152. This is the Lone Stars against the Leon Stars. And the Lone Stars of Liberia winning that free kick. Country that would always be linked with the great George Weah, of course, former World Player of the Year. Such a stellar career in Europe. Milan, PSG, later with Chelsea. Went on to become president, currently president of that nation. Coached Liberia, was of course the captain. His son Tim actually plays for the USA, born in New York City. I'm sure he's watching this. I'm sure he'll be pretty happy if it's 0-0 at half-time. Sherman with the what me expression. He didn't think there was a foul, and Jean Ouattara just saying calm things down. Might be a little bit of a language problem. These are two English-speaking nations. Jean Ouattara from French-speaking Burkina Faso. These players probably used to a few words of English and French, even if it's not their first language. Hit long by Kuroma. Kamara is prowling, can't get to it, miscued. Danger not over, headed out by Joel Johnson. Sam Johnson finishes the job. Sherman hits it long. To Dawley's been dangerous. Here's Tisdall. Tisdall. A foul against Tisdall. Oh, a bit of a late kick. Got to be careful. It's a hostile atmosphere. And the referee is putting out a yellow for Tisdall, who's not a dirty player by any means. A skillful player, Tonya Tisdall. But he's going to go home with a yellow card. So Ng and Tisdall both on yellows for that. Bit of a silly challenge. Mustafa Dumbuya saw the funny side of it. 4 minutes. The reason was that little disturbance about 15 minutes ago, just ahead of a corner from Liberia, where I think some fans were throwing some objects on the pitch. So quite right that there's 4 minutes of added time. A foul against Kouyaté. Last chance maybe in this first half for the Leon Stars. They're throwing almost everyone into the penalty area. Going for broke, it's high, will the goalkeeper collect? He will, no he won't, he's dropped it! Gets it back, danger not over, and finally Liberia with Dennis Jr. clearing up, but Williams, Ashley Williams, I thought he had it. I think everyone thought he had it, and for no reason. The ball was dropped. Sierra Leone thought they had a chance of a goal. Ashley Williams scooped it up and got a bit of a kick in the process. What a strange incident that was. Ashley Williams came, got it as you can see, and then fumbled it. Sierra Leone quite rightly scrapping after it. And the frustrated player was Musa Kamara, the 19 there. So he had it for a brief second, but it was good defending actually from Dennis Jr. Very aware. I think he's telling his goalkeeper, what are you doing? A let-off there for Liberia. Musa Kamara had a decent chance. So, Musa Kamara frustrated. And a let-off for Ashley Williams, who's had a pretty good first half for me, but inexplicably dropped the ball there, and I think his pride is hurt more than anything else. 18 years old, but quite right that he's getting a full medical checkup. He might have had a kick in the head, to be fair, so that can be dangerous. And Jean Ouattara absolutely right to give the Liberian coaching staff and medical staff the time to make sure the keeper is okay. Looks like it's going to be 0-0 at half-time. Musa Kamara coming very close there. Salas Tete will hope that Sierra Leone have one last chance this half. Just getting a bit of ice treatment is the youngster Ashley Williams. Make sure he's okay. Peter Butler. On the bench. His assistant is a certain Chris Ray, won the double with Arsenal in 1998. Didn't play too much, but when the competition up front is Ian Wright, Dennis Bergkamp and Nicholas Anelka, you can be forgiven for that. Some worried faces there among the Sierra Leone fans. So Chris Ray, Peter Butler's assistant, he is Liberian, Chris Ray. Another storied Liberian player, not quite as much as George Weah, but he did win a double in England. Scored a goal in the Community Shield against Peter Schmeichel at Wembley. So he knows what it's like to succeed at the top level, Chris Ray. There might be chance, one last chance for Sierra Leone. It's going to be hit direct, as you'd expect, with just a few seconds left. Punched out that time by Ashley Williams. A good punch it was too. Sherman. And G somehow keeping it in the safe part of the pitch as far as Liberia are concerned. Surely the whistle will go very soon. Is that man K again? K. Did he get a bit of a push? No. So Davis. Davis scraps after that. He switched flanks as Davis. Didn't start the first game. He's made quite a good impression for me in the second. Sherman again wins the foul. Pushed by Koroma. You can see what he thinks of that. Ishmael Koroma with that foul. I wonder if Liberia will pump it long into the box. Playing the 6th minute of stoppage time, because we had an injury to the visiting keeper Ashley Williams by Kuyate. Hellberg, Swedish-born player, can't quite get to it initially, but scraps back for it. That's the end of the first half. It's 0-0 in Sierra Leone. After a bit of a scrappy, physical first half, Liberia came closest in the 31st minute with a long-range shot from Johnson near the end of the first half. Ashley Williams fumbled the ball and Musa Kamara couldn't quite steer it into the empty net. Good defending it was from Dennis Jr. But after a 3-1 win in the first leg for Liberia, the pressure very much on Sierra Leone. It's 0-0 at half-time. And remember, they'll need to score twice in the second period if they're going to go through to the second round of African qualifying for the World Cup. It's 0-0 at half-time. Don't go away.
That makes it all incredibly amazing. All right, let's see what action the second half of play will bring to us. Let's hope and pray for a third round of the present situation at the Circuit City Stadium. Oh yeah, we're back from recess, and like Mike mentioned, we are praying for God to win in the second half of play. You know, like I mentioned earlier on, we are the young stars, the multiple stars, against a lone star. We must outshine the lone star. And we will outshine the lone star. Oh yeah.
Welcome back to the Siaka Stevens Stadium in Freetown, where it's 0-0 between Sierra Leone and Liberia. That means it's 3-1 on aggregate with 45 minutes to play. We had an entertaining first half, plenty of endeavour, a few chances, especially for the hosts. Kai Kamara with a brilliant man in your shot there, overhead kick that was kicked off the line by McConnell. Bangura came close with a header in the 37th minute, and just before the break, Ashley Johnson, who had a good first half for me, the keeper, Ashley Williams, excuse me, just dropped the ball and allowed Musa Kamara to come close. Early on, Johnson had a couple of chances for Liberia, Sam Johnson, but it's 0-0. Second half is going to go very quickly, I think. There's so much at stake as Jean Ouattara gets ready to start the second period. Second leg, 3-1 is the lead for Liberia after the first match, so the pressure very much on Sierra Leone to do something here. One feels they have to get the two Kamaras, Musa and Kai, in the game a little bit more. The pitch is cutting up a bit. The grass has been left quite long, not easy conditions for the players, and there's no doubt that of the two coaches, Peter Butler will be happier after the three halves of football we had so far. There's still 45 minutes to play. Away goals will count. It can go to extra time. It's going to be a very nervy 45 minutes, so much at stake. A place in the group stage of qualifying for the World Cup. A chance to play against the heavyweights of African football. Ashley Williams will clear for the first time, sure not for the last, in this second half. 18 years old. He's got quite a cool head. Hasn't really panicked so far. One or two fumbles, but we can forgive him for that. The back four in front of him has been quite solid. Kouyaté, McConnell, Dennis and Joel Johnson are two Johnsons on the pitch for Liberia. Sam the forward and Joel the right back. And three Kamaras, just to be clear. Musa and Kai up front for Sierra Leone and John in the middle of the park. So, first real action of the second half. Liberia have been pretty direct so far. And they'll look for Sherman and Johnson. Driven in, it was a little bit long. Sierra Leone will deal with that. They'd love to get an early goal in this second half. was Dawley. And a busy first half for me, and a good first half. Oscar Dawley, man who plays for Slovan Liberec in Czechoslovakia, just 21 years old. His 13th game for his country. I think we'll see lots more of him in the Liberia shirt. So knocked in by Davis. The head up from Kamara. Needed a bit more in it, didn't it? George Davis brought in, didn't start the first game. It's proved quite a useful threat down that left-hand side. The man who plays his football in Austria. Plenty of time, didn't he, Kai Kamara? Just couldn't steer it between the posts. Be a bit disappointed. A player of his experience and class and goals. 100 goals in MLS. Only 10 players can say that. 2015 actually was the joint top scorer in North American football with 22 goals. So knows how to find the back of the net, and no doubt the major threat for the Leon Stars against the Lone Stars this afternoon. So the Lone Stars that lead 3-1 on aggregate. Remember, only 5 countries out of 54 from Africa will qualify, and there's a yellow card for Helberg. Not quite sure why that was given. Only Jean Ouattara can answer that question. So just to confirm, a yellow for Helberg, the Swedish-born Liberia player. Five minutes gone. Not too much to report for the first 5 minutes in Liberia. And their coach, Peter Butler, will be absolutely delighted with that. If it's an incident-free second half, they'll be through to the second round. Liberia have twice qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations in '96 and 2002. They won one game in '96, didn't win any in 2002. They never progressed beyond the first round. They've won 15 World Cup qualifying games before this year, so 16 including the one last week. Never qualified for the World Cup finals, but you know, they came desperately close in 2002 under the great George Weah. They were second in the group to Nigeria, you may remember, nearly qualifying for the Japan-South Korea World Cup. They beat Sierra Leone twice in the group in qualifying for 2002. Seems a long time ago, wasn't it? 17 years ago. But it was a fantastic Liberia team then. There's a foul against Sam Johnson of Liberia there. He certainly felt that, didn't he? Plays his football for Real Salt Lake, also in the MLS. Scored 9 goals since joining Real Salt Lake as Sam Johnson. The number 17 bursting through there, and a crude challenge from Sese. Three international goals for Sam Johnson. If he gets a fourth today, surely that would mean Liberia through to round 2. As the clock ticks by, each minute means a little bit more pressure for Sierra Leone. Morris and his teammates. Solomon Morris, a little bit of a fumble in the 31st minute from a shot from Johnson. And the first substitute of the afternoon. It's going to come for Liberia. Looks like Joel Johnson is going to go off, the right back. He was not the player involved in that incident. It's rather curious there. Joel Johnson seemed to go down without any challenge. We were looking at Sam Johnson, who was struggling, but that looks like it's the end of the afternoon for Joel Johnson. So Joel Johnson is okay, but he's being replaced. Sam Johnson is still on the pitch, and there's a free kick. Liberia will take their time. They lead 3-1 on aggregate. Comes the corner. Well, it was a bit of pushing and shoving there. Sherman wasn't too far from being in a very dangerous position close to goal. Free kick will go the other way. Kai Kamara not happy with the time wasting. But Jean Ouattara just saying no. The ball has got to be played from where the foul took place. A bit more frustration for Sierra Leone. Sherman desperately trying to stay on his feet. He couldn't, but the man who can is Tisdale. Tisdale. Well, the cross is very high. I think it might stay in, though. And, with the grass being that long, the ball doesn't bounce out, stays in. Johnson puts it in. Not the best cross he's ever played in his life. Getting scrappy now, and it was safely in the arms of Morris. Kai Kamara. Kai Kamara has a chance. Kamara! Oh, what a finish! The big man has done it. The talisman has put Sierra Leone right back in this tie, using all 1.91 meters. He was just too strong for the Liberia defence. It's 1-0, and it's game on. It was a long, hopeful ball, but you know, for many, many years, Kai Kamara has been feeding off that kind of service. And what a super finish it was. Just got the right side of the defender. And what a smart finish. McConnell was just a yard short, wasn't he? And the ball wasn't in a nice position to shoot either. What a good finish. Kai Kamara, and it's 1-0. Well, the fans absolutely love that. Kai Kamara is a hero in these parts. 35 years old, still banging in the goals. And my word, the pressure is on Liberia now. One more goal and Sierra Leone will be through on away goals. Got to be careful at the other end. Johnson. Sherman was scrapping after that. What a vital goal that was. They really needed that as well. They were lacking inspiration, lacking ideas. Suddenly, it's a new team. Okay. Still need to keep their composure, but look at these fans. They're driving on their team. Oh, they're celebrating like the World Cup has been won. Kamara again, what a save! Great save by Williams. They left Kamara all on his own. It was a good header. And the 18-year-old Williams with a top save. Look at that. Well, Ashley Williams is making a name for himself here. Liberia making another substitute. Now Sangara is going to come on. Came on in the first match as well. And off goes Hellberg. What a game we have on our hands now. Needed a goal and that's what we had. So Mohamed Sangara is on. currently plays in England with the Newcastle youth setup with the under-23s, and up in the northeast of England they got very high hopes for Sangara. Scored a penalty in the first game. (3-2) on aggregate. Sierra Leone do have an away goal. Suddenly have a spring in their step. That should be okay for Ashley Williams. Made a brilliant save just a few minutes ago from a Kamara header. Sit back and enjoy 32 minutes of great action ahead of us. I'm sure there'll be some incidents. There can only be one winner. Only one team will be going through to the second round of World Cup qualifying. It means so much for Kai Kamara at 35. Surely the last chance he will have to have a stab at a World Cup place. And a change for the hosts, with Musa Kamara coming off and sprinting off. He knows that time is of the essence. So centre forward is off, and on comes a Mohamed Bouya, another forward. So it's like for like. Bouya for Kamara. Can he make a difference? Suddenly there's belief in the Sierra Leone setup, when there wasn't really any before, one has to say. Throw comes in. Williams gets it, just didn't get enough on it though. There was a free kick in there somewhere. I think there was a foul on the young Ashley Williams. Felt something. He does go to ground rather easily. Again, the medical staff will be called out. So Ashley Williams is still down. Sierra Leone not happy. They want to get on with it. They feel that they have the momentum with them at the moment. That was the goal. What a good strike it was. Off the boot. Wasn't in a nice position for him. Got power. Play continues. So number 15 from Liberia, Ugen Sven, the Belarus-based player, is on. He actually missed the first leg because he missed a connecting flight. Did Sven, who's a right back. There's a real scrap there, Sherman. Thought he was held back. There's a real dispute between Morris and Bangura. No harm done as far as Sierra Leone are concerned, but was that a penalty? play together as a team, Sierra Leone, no doubt about that. Can't afford any arguments. Powerful challenge it was from NG in the middle. The goalkeeper comes out, Morris. The header's not the best, there's a real chance and it's gone just wide. Well, that was a nervy clearance from Morris. And Tisdale wasn't far. Unconvincing from the keeper. And Tisdale put it the wrong side of the post as far as Liberia were concerned. Illegal challenge from Mo Sangari, went in with the elbow, the Newcastle player. It's going to be a fascinating last half hour, it really is. This man, K. Kamara, will be the key man, I think. Scored one, certainly the most dangerous player. There is Kamara headed on. This time Ashley Williams grabs it, and he'll keep hold of that. Fumbled one or two, but my word, for an 18-year-old, he's very, very confident and skillful as well. I'm sure that scouts from around Europe and around the world will be having a look at Ashley Williams. One for the future, remember that name. But for the moment, we're looking at Kate down that right-hand side. No, he's not going to get the throw. Came off Kate. Kwame K, frustrated. But again, just wants the visitors to get on with it. I think Gassima Kuyate will take his time. Thunderous challenge from McConnell. He's given everything. Got to say, Alvin McConnell's had a good game for me. He cleared the ball off the line in the 15th minute it was, with Kamara's overhead. That would have changed the setup of the game, wouldn't it, if Sierra Leone had scored so early. But they have their goal. They have to wait till the 55th minute. And we have a real game on our hands here. I think the next team to score the goal will win. 2-0 will be enough for Sierra Leone. But if Liberia can get a fourth of the tie, it might be amounting too much for Sierra Leone. Let's see what Sherman can do. Cleared by Sese. Bouya was never going to get to that. Bouya, the substitute. You're watching African World Cup qualifying from Freetown in Sierra Leone. It's 1-0 to the hosts. A brilliant goal from Kai Kamara, the veteran, past this man, Ashley Williams, the youngster. It's a 17-year gap between goal scorer and goalkeeper. But Liberia lead 3-2. Remember, they won the first leg 3-1. Goals from Tisdale, Sangara and Johnson. Sangara is on again, Mohamed Sangara. Number 7. There he is. Bound to be some tired legs out there. The first leg was only 4 days ago. And of course, many of these players had a long, long journey to get here. So from North America, Azerbaijan, a shot from Sangara, no problem for Morris. Dawley a little bit too clever that time. Sierra Leone get it back. Here is Sven. Hack clear by McConnell. Not the most sophisticated of defenders, but my word, he's effective. Liberia have 24 minutes to defend this. And I think that's what they'll try to do now. Slowly, giving the impression they're going to just shut up shop and just say, look, we have the lead 3-2, try and get past us. That'll be the message. pitch is cutting up a little bit, quite heavy out there now. Grass has been left quite long. Not easy conditions so far. Ethiopia and Tanzania are already through to round 2. Lots of action to come. Namibia 2-1 up against Eritrea. Rwanda and Sudan certainly favourites to go through after scoring 3 goals away. But a lot of ties are very, very close. Somalia against Zimbabwe, looking forward to that one. That's 1-0 after the first leg. And Mauritius, the underdogs, against Mozambique. They lost the first leg 1-0. And it's 1-1 between South Sudan and Equatorial Guinea. They're playing the second leg this afternoon as well. So that was a foul against Conte. I haven't seen too much of Conte today. He's worked really hard in the middle of the pitch. He's not going to grab any headlines. Huge leap it was by John Kamara to no avail. Liberia come again, but there's some tired legs out there. We can forgive him for that. Sese hits it long. Kamara heads it on. The sub Booyah will chase after that. Can't get to it. McConnell and Dennis have been pretty solid for me, the 2 centre-backs for Liberia. Here's Dawley, not solid, but very skillful. Good by Swen. Not wide, it's more like it. By Ng, goes wide to Sherman. Alvin McConnell. Kouyaté. Liberia more than happy just to keep the ball as the clock ticks. Ng. Tisdall. Kamara's worked so hard, he's all there playing back at right back, the centre forward. That's why the fans love him. And there's a foul, but that will just slow down the Sierra Leone attack. Kwame K there, he's worked very hard down that right-hand flank. Mustafa Doumbouya hits it long. Kai Kamara can't quite get to that. 28 teams in this first round of qualifying. Togo and Angola, the 2 who have tasted World Cup action, World Cup finals action. Wasn't a great World Cup for Africa last time out in 2018. Egypt losing all 3. Nigeria and Tunisia winning 1, losing 2. Morocco just picking up a point, although that was against Spain. Senegal winning 1 and losing 1. None of those 5 qualifying for round 2 in Russia. Sese is ready for the throw. There's another Liberia player down. That's Kouyaté. I think he's pulled a thigh muscle. Looks in trouble, doesn't he? Yeah. Liberia left back. 2 changes already with Swen and Mo Sangara coming on. Doesn't look good. Be a little bit early to make a 3rd substitute. I think Peter Butler will try and avoid it if at all possible. 20 minutes on the clock. Some tired legs out there, heavy pitch. Players have travelled from far and wide to get here. It's the kind of match where you want to sub up your sleeve. Salas Tete of Ghana has his work cut out. Must find a goal or his men will be out. It's his 2nd stint at Sierra Leone. Tete says he has unfinished business and has called on patience. Yeah, former Ghana and Rwanda coach. There's time to be patient for the moment, although not for too much longer. 18 minutes to play. If it stays like this, Liberia through. Kurete is off. Liberia will have to defend this throw with 10 men. Kamara gets on the end of it. John Kamara, hat clear by Swen, the substitute. Was that a handball? Yes, I think it was, and this is in a useful position. Well, there might be one or two candidates to take this. A chance for glory. Because a goal now would put them in a very, very strong position. No prizes for guessing that Kai Kamara will like to have a pop. I've seen Kay have a shoot from this kind of distance as well. But as ever, Ashley Williams, cool and collected in the Liberia goal. What a good prospect he is. 18 years old, 45,000 fans in this stadium, and they're creating a fantastic atmosphere. But Ashley Williams has kept pretty well for me. Just that one fumble. He'll be a hero if he can keep it to 1-0. Ashley Williams, the young goalkeeper. So Bangura looks like he's hovering over the ball. Bumari Bangura, the captain. Surely it's too far to have a crack from here. Bangura, indeed it is. That was too ambitious, looking for the glory. That's a foul. That's going to go Liberia's way. Clumsy challenge. Conte, I think, with that high tackle. Indeed, Conte with that challenge. Tisdall felt that. So Tonya Tisdale, the man who plays his football in Cyprus for Nea Salamis. Scored a first goal of his international career 4 days ago. What an important one it was. So we're in the last 15 minutes. Liberia are just ahead, 3-2. But Sierra Leone have the away goal in their pocket. That could be the difference. Doesn't look like there'll be extra time. Doesn't tend to be many goals in clashes between these two nations, these neighbours. Fierce rivals they are. Kamara, Kay Kamara, Ashley Williams, got to be careful, but my word. They call him a sweeper keeper, and we know why. He was the coolest customer on the pitch, the 18-year-old. Unflappable. A battle of youth and experience. Kay Kamara and Ashley Williams both going to go away with a lot of credit, but there can only be one winner here. Only one team will go through to round two. If it stays like this, it will be Liberia. Sam Johnson wanted the ball, played through to him, didn't get it. Kay Kamara wants it on this far side. Header down by Kay. And that man Kamara wanted it. He was asking, why didn't you give it to me? He was well placed, the big number 10, but I think Kay had every right to go for that header. Not the strongest part of his game. This man Kamara is very strong in the air. Sierra Leone and Liberia, not the giants of African football by any means, but they're giving absolutely everything today. They want to go head-to-head against the giants. against the big guns of African football. That's one of the longest run-ups I've ever seen for a goal kick from Ashley Williams. John Kamara getting a whack in the face. These two West African nations would love to go up against the likes of Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal, show the continent and the world what they can do. Kamara gets a head on it. Was that a push? Is that a penalty? No, says Jean Ouattara. Looked like there could have been a push on Kay. The fans were screaming for a spot kick, but not given that time. And Kouyaté again, well, he had an injury a few minutes ago, and now it looks like he's fallen quite badly to the turf. That might be the end of Kouyaté today. But Kouyaté putting his body on the line there. It's a good header by Kamara. That would have been a harsh penalty. Well, you can see the fans leaping to their feet. This was the free kick earlier from the captain Bangura. Knocked along. Header by Kamara. Well, judge that for yourself, but that would have been a bit harsh. Time is running out for Sierra Leone. 11 minutes left. Remember, they will go out 3-2 if it stays like this. If they score a goal, away goals will come into effect. That's why it's so nervy out there. So much tension at the Siaka Stevens Stadium. Stadium named after the first president of this nation. Fans will be looking up at that clock. So close, so close. Kouyaté hobbling off. Really looks like he's got a problem, doesn't he? Gassimu Kouyaté, but you don't want to lose your left back at this time of the match. Ashley Williams punts it long. Johnson beaten to the punch. And Liberia have more defending to do, but there's a foul in there. The crowd are restless, let's put it that way. One or two objects thrown on the pitch in the first half, but thankfully it's settled down a bit. And young Ashley Williams comes up again. He's picked up a yellow card, I think, for time wasting. Just looking at the official FIFA site, and I didn't see that, but he's down as a yellow card. And Ashley Williams looking for an assist. It goes to Johnson, and there's a chance, and it's just bubbled wide from Sherman. A really good chance for Kappa Sherman, and he knows that could have won the tie. Oh, will it make a difference? We'll know in about 10 minutes. But the ball bobbled to Kappa Sherman, and if he'd got a decent contact on that, it would have been 1-1. Simeon Kaku is on now. Last throw of the dice. Go right up front, as you can see, the number 25 in screen. Ashley Williams has got to be a bit careful now. He's picked up a yellow. He does go to ground quite quickly and for quite a long time, let's be honest. So Kaku is on. Hasn't been easy for Jean Ouattara today. Referee from Burkina Faso has done pretty well, I think. 8 minutes to play. Tisdall will curl it in. Headed out by John Kamara, who's just throwing everything, and it's that header. Such a brave player. Tisdall wins the corner. Tonya Tisdall. I think he'll take the corner as well. He's got a good delivery on him off the left boot. It's the giant John Kamara. Takes a position in front of his keeper. Bit of pushing and shoving, as you'd expect. Tisdall drills it in, headed off the line, and that's going now high and very wide from Dawley. But it does waste a few seconds. So just to confirm that Kaku is on, Bouya is on for Sierra Leone. Two weapons up front. Will they make a difference? So a towering header from Dawley, and an illegal one. This is Jean Ouattara. Corner, the temperature will rise, the noise will go up just a notch as well. Sierra Leone with the corner, so not the best one. Kamara scraps for it. John Kamara just wins it. Can they get the cross in? That's good defending from Liberia. It was Sherman, the centre forward, getting back to help. And Peter Butt will be delighted with that. Played through for the substitutes. And good goalkeeping from Morris, Mohamed Sangare. Never quite got that ball under control. But Kaku does. Out by McConnell, who's been a rock at the back. Tisdall just slaloming his way through two or three players and winning an important free kick. As we move into the last 5 minutes of play, it's Sierra Leone 1, Liberia 0. The goal, of course, from Kamara, but it's not going to be enough if it stays like this. Kai Kamara's goal, not enough after that 3-1 first leg defeat. So Kaku scrapping for everything. Good defending again that time from Dennis Jr. What does Sierra Leone have left in the tank, I wonder? Sese. Dawley who got the boot, and he's had a good all-round game, you know. Dawley's defended well, he's put in some decent crosses. Not spectacular, but he's done the job. Sese with the throw. Hacked out that time by Dennis Jr. Nearly comes through to Bouya, but there's an infringement somewhere. And Ashley Williams will go down, and I think he'll take up a few minutes with that. He did get a kick. These are precious seconds for Sierra Leone. It was only just offside, you know, but it was a bit of a rash challenge, wasn't it, from Bouya? Just barging into the goalkeeper when the keeper had the ball. Ashley Williams might need a bit of attention for that, not for the first time going down, calling for the physio. The Lone Stars are 3.5 minutes away from glory and a place in the second round. It means so much to them. Chance to go up against the big boys of African football. It's not over yet, but you can see some worried faces there, can't you, among the Sierra Leone fans. They've seen a brilliant goal from Kai Kamara, but it might not be enough. Surely there'll be quite a few minutes of stoppage time though, because we've had some injuries. I imagine there'd be at least 4, maybe 5 minutes of stoppage time, perhaps more. It's up to Jean Ouattara, but we have had a lot of injuries among the Liberia players. And, the Sierra Leone fans, well, might be a tough evening for them. Couldn't get much closer. 3-2, and they have an away goal, but it won't come into effect unless they can get a second. Those 2 penalties in the first match, the difference. Ashley Williams is ready to carry on, the young goalkeeper. He's got a long punt on him, and a long run up, as you can see. It's going to go to this right-hand side and float out, but it'll waste a few more seconds. Sherman couldn't control that one. Really had too many chances today. Apart from Sam Johnson in the first half, a couple of speculative efforts. It won't matter, a 1-0 defeat will be enough if it stays like this. Kamara knocks it on, cleared by that defender Dennis, who's done so well today. And skillful work by Dawley. Somehow keeps onto the ball. Surely that's a pull on Tisdale. Yeah, Tisdale will win a free kick. Yellow card in there as well. The big man, John Kamara. No one has worked harder than him today. As we move into the last minute of normal time, 1-0. Kai Kamara's brilliant goal in the 55th minute. Clearly a tug on the shirt there. The difference. But it's still 3-2 on aggregate to Liberia, the visitors. A pretty short journey home, by African standards anyway. 500 kilometres from capital to capital. The last throw of the dice for Sierra Leone. They're going to throw some more players forward, I think. 30 seconds on the clock in normal time. I'm sure there'll be quite a few minutes of stoppage time. Kouyaté has recovered and hits it long. Sherman nearly gets to it, but cleared by Karoma. Nice header there by Swen. Not sure how fresh he will be after that long journey. Missed his flight, missed his connection. That's why he didn't play in the first match. Eugen Swen, based in Belarus. 6 minutes, as I suspected. So still a bit of time for Sierra Leone. It's hit long. Kai Kamara heads it on. He comes through to Kaku, the sub. There was an offside there. Howls of disapproval from the home fans. Kaku and Bouya have gone right up front to help Kai Kamara. A 3-man attack. Well, the officials just appealing to the crowd to calm things down. It's not helping their cause. Just at the start of 6 minutes of injury time. 3-2 is the aggregate score to the visitors. Let's hope this doesn't boil over. So Jean Ouattara ready to restart the match. Ashley Williams with the long punt clear to Sam Johnson. It's going to come to Sherman, still Sherman. It was a lazy pass, a poor pass, a tired one, but he scraps back for it. He's worked very hard, as Sherman. Take nothing away from Kapar Sherman today. He's had no service at all. A tired pass more than a lazy one. Jay wins the header forward, cleared by Sase. Ashley Williams, as we've seen so many times, gets the ball and goes to ground. He's got to be careful. I've seen keepers get yellow cards for that kind of thing, and he's already on one. Something like 4 minutes to play. Dumbaya with the throw. Needs something very quick now for Sierra Leone. They're at the wrong end of the pitch. There's some tired legs out there. Kai Kamara is screaming for the ball, as he has for most of the 90 minutes. So Morris sprints back. He's going to hit it long. It's going to be direct, simple stuff from now on. John Kamara heads it on, as does Conte. Hack clear by McConnell, who's been solid this afternoon. He's had a good game for me. Simple but effective from Dawley. It's 2 against 2 up there. Sierra Leone have to be careful. Karoma did what he had to do. Clear by Morris. Not too pretty now. There's no time for that. It's just got to be direct. It's got to be effective. Is that a penalty? There's a huge decision for Jean Ouattara, and he has given it to Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone have a penalty in the 93rd minute. Liberia can't believe it. The celebrations have started. Well, we still have a penalty to come. There was penalty controversy in the first leg and in the second too. I think it was Swen who was adjudged to have fouled there. And what you can see by the looks on the Liberian players, they just can't believe what's happened. What drama in Freetown. A penalty in the 4th minute of injury time. Well, the fans are celebrating like the match has been won already. There's still a huge penalty to come. Whoever takes it will really need to hold his nerve. And my word, I wonder what's going on in Peter Butler's mind. He must have thought that his team were in the second round. That's football for you. And it looks like the captain, Bangura, is going to take it. He could make himself a hero. Umaru Bangura. Ashley Williams, who probably thought he was going to be the hero after the match. What drama. The captain steps up. It's Bangura against Williams. And there's a save! What a save from Ashley Williams! Well, there's no doubt now, Ashley Williams will be the hero in Liberia. Well, Sierra Leone complaining about something. Ashley Williams has gone down, he's clutching onto it. And the penalty has been saved by the 18-year-old, who's certainly written himself into Liberian history. There's some pushing and shoving. I don't know what the complaining is about. It was a poor penalty. Bangura needed to put more onto it than that. Now, Jean Ouattara has picked up the ball. And I think he's just ushering away the home players. It looked like Bangura slipped as he was taking that, but you've got to say that's an excellent save. The 18-year-old. And I think what Kai Kamara was complaining about was a handball. He said there was somewhere a handball in there. Well, Peter Butler, I'm sure, will be very, very thankful to his young goalkeeper, who is going to make headlines around African football, because Liberia have gone through in the most dramatic of circumstances. Ashley Williams has saved a penalty right at the death, a goal that would have put Sierra Leone through, but it's 1-0, and there's some